What is up? It is Andy coming to you with your Friday NHL Sniffs. Thursday delivered a decent amount of unders. A lot of those teams stayed under their team total. Rangers stayed under 6.5. If it wasn't for a goal with 3 minutes left by the Cockroach Kraken, it would have been a lot of unders across that board. We were strategically able to use players like Evan Rodriguez and Charlie Coyle to get better prices on those unders. So that was a night of unders. It wasn't the only thing. As I told you, Bobby's spreadsheets always runs parallel to these nights. And what kind of night was it? Another massive winning night. So yes, that one day, the Frozen Frenzy, the name is so bad that it tanked all our line mate bets. But once again, a massive winning night. Line mates were connecting all over the place with one goal, clearing all three bets. We had a bunch of those, which always feels good. And you know Bobby's spreadsheets was loving every single minute of it. And we do have some of those here on a Friday slate. Decent Friday slate, 4 games. They didn't throw us with one of those, oh yeah, here's one game on a Friday, which they tend to do. This first one in Vegas, I'm scratching this one the least. It's a weird game, a 3 o'clock local game, a matinee day game in Vegas, which is probably still 98 degrees. Kind of weird vibes in that one. But one thing that I did want to point out is Ottawa offensively has looked great in this recent stretch. That's never been an issue with them. They always have offensive talent. They always look pretty good offensively. And just those two line combos, these are just little deli slices. They're going to be part of the full sheet that's going to be going out for this entire slate. But you have Batherson and Norris have been coming through repeatedly. And then the classic Stützle Tkachuk. Because they're on the road in Vegas, we're getting decent prices on Stützle and Tkachuk. Last game on Draftkings, it was plus 106 at the Coyotes. And this game in Vegas is actually better than that. They can score. They can score over there for sure. Because all 4 of those guys are on the top power play. The top power play is clicking. And those lines just in general in all situations are clicking. So those 2 line combos are pretty good. That's not my favorite play of the day. My favorite play of the day happens to be in the later game. This is the Edmonton Oilers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Which team should we focus on? Let's start with the Penguins. Penguins have one of the worst defenses in the NHL. They're getting some of the worst goaltending in the NHL. Their record's kind of hovering in that lingerer's paradise, but they're having trouble keeping pucks out of their net. Tristan Jarry's essentially finished, so they're starting Nedeljkovic and third-string goalies. And against the Edmonton Oilers, who, it's October, it's another October for the Edmonton Oilers. I feel a lot like the Edmonton Oilers. Every October, you're going to get our worst. Every June, you're going to see us in the finals. And that's exactly where they are. Another loss for the Oilers in overtime against the Canes the other night. But could this be a quote-unquote get-right spot against the Pittsburgh Penguins? If you do think it's going to be a get-right spot, I have some sniffs that correlate directly to that get-right spot, even if it's in a high-scoring loss. If you think Edmonton's got a couple goals in them, oh, I got a sniff for you. So, for the first time in a long time, the Edmonton Oilers actually have players that they can insert into that top power play when that power play goes dry. Like, if you look at last year, they're just not going to tinker with that top 5 unit. They're going to allow them to figure it out in the long run and iron out whatever issues that they have, which would allow them to slow down and not operate at, full potential. But this time around, ever since bringing in V.Arvidsson and Skinner, those are 2 guys with a lot of power play experience over the course of their career. So now when Edmonton goes cold on the power play, which they currently are, which is kind of crazy considering they're a top 3 power play essentially every single year for the last 5 years. So when they go cold, they can actually exchange a player or 2. You guys all know that I think that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Jason Robertson are 2 of the biggest scam stars in this league. They're fake 100-point guys. And now they're going to learn it the hard way with Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins both coming off that top unit in favor of Arvidsson and Skinner. So who am I going to focus on? Skinner's a plus money point. Arvidsson is like minus 110, minus 115. So you think I want to go with Skinner? I absolutely do not. I want to go with Victor Arvidsson. Why is that? Because of the same thing that I've been preaching the whole time. We want somebody who's on the best line and the top power play and has some correlation so we can maybe snake a line mate as well. He's playing on the second line with Draisaitl, and if you're saying, but he's played on that second line with Draisaitl before. But it's a monumental difference if he's also on that unbelievable Oilers top power play, even if it is cold in the moment. It's had cold stretches in the past, like in the early part of the Dallas series, and then you saw what happened as that series progressed. Once it clicks once, those points are going to be flowing, which is why I like that Draisaitl point. This is one of the best line mate combos on the night. Draisaitl and Victor Arvidsson, and then this is a candidate to take each of them for 2 points because the price is so fresh for Arvidsson that if you do both for 2 points, you're looking at plus 800. That's a sniff that I definitely like on this slate. Bad Pittsburgh defense. They're getting bad goaltending going up against a team that we know can score, but just hasn't scored yet. So we're getting decent prices. We're getting a great price on Arvidsson. He's playing with Draisaitl. A lot of stuff to like on that Edmonton side. So give me those two players for points, an Arvidsson point, and then both of them for 2 points as well. Outside of there could be another game with some goals because we've seen the reemergence of the Scam 5 roller hockey New Jersey Devils. Did you think they weren't the roller hockey Devils? Why? Because they were in Czechia for a preseason-ish game against the Buffalo Sabres in back-to-back preseason nights. They were able to hold the Sabres to low-scoring games in the first couple of games. This is the scam part of the season. How many times do I have to reiterate this? The roller hockey Devils are coming back. What was it, 7 or 8 goals against the Lightning? Was it 4 or 5 goals last night? They're conceding. Now they're playing games in back-to-back nights, have to travel back from Detroit, and now they're playing the New York Islanders, who just got shut out in their last game. So you have a team who's struggling on offense against a team who for years now has been struggling on defense. Which way does this one go? I tend to lean in the direction of some goals being scored, especially against these roller hockey Devils. Even if the Devils win, we see a lot of opportunity on this Islanders side. And specifically, I'm looking at one player, M.Tsyplakov. He's a rookie. He plays with Nelson and Palmieri on that second line, so he has plenty of opportunities there. And he's on the Barzal power play with Brock Nelson. So they might tell you that it's the power play 2. It's guaranteed the power play 1. If you look at the end of last game when they needed a goal, when they sent them out there late to win, the Barzal unit is always going to be the number 1 power play unit for the Islanders. So we have Tsyplakov on there with Brock Nelson. The M.Tsyplakov points plus 132. That's a fantastic value. And he's playing alongside Brock Nelson. So that's another ideal line mate combo, in my opinion, in terms of the value you're getting against a team like the roller hockey Devils. So I will go with a point for Tsyplakov and then a line combo bet for Nelson and Tsyplakov. You want to talk about a chalky ass? Sounds like this came from like year 1 intro to betting. The Nashville Predators puck line minus 1.5. The only reason I'm taking this is because the fact that we're looking at Nashville minus 1.5 at like close to plus 145, 150, in 2 months from now, they're going to be pretty much minus 110 to go into Chicago and be minus 115. So this is like I'm back from the future looking at future odds saying, oh, we're getting a deal on this. So I think we're getting a deal on this. So you can let your chalky, I want to bet Nashville puck line in Chicago because I don't have a lot of faith in that Chicago offense. I know they've had some games where they scored, but I don't have much faith in that offense overall. But I think coming off of a shutout, I like taking teams playing good defense after a shutout. Give me Nashville minus 1.5. If you need to juice anything in that game, do not mind the over 2.5. Shots on goal for Connor Bedard. That's what I have for you here on a Friday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel here. Always appreciated. Show that good sports betting karma that you want to come your way by liking and subscribing. And this is one that I couldn't get up early. This was an afternoon post. So the only way you know when these are going to be dropped is if you click the notification. Is this a strategic ploy to make sure you guys are clicking the notifications? No, I have a life just like you. Sometimes I was out last night. Can't film it at night if you're out. So that's why this one is up in the afternoon. I thought it would be a nice change anyway. You guys probably thought, oh my God, no Friday video. Then if you click that notification, you get the notification. Maybe your lunch is a little bit better on this Friday. All right, everybody, take it easy. As always, if you want those weekend sniffs, I post them over on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/AndyFrancis. Hopefully I will see you there. If not, I will see you on Monday for some NHL sniffs, but I will be making that NFL video over the weekend to talk about my best Week 8 Sunday sniffs. Take it easy, and I will talk to you then.